Feels like we know pretty much everything about Samsung's upcoming Galaxy Z Fold 4. I have several details to bring to you today that I, at this point, had not brought to you guys already. Of course, we've already looked at some very beautiful high-resolution renders from websites like Smart Pricks via On Leaks, a guy. There's a lot of very difficult things to say there for me. A guy that's been very, very reliable. We can pretty well assume this is what the Z Fold 4 is going to look like. Very similar to the Z Fold 3, except now the camera bumps are individual, like the S22 Ultra. The cover display is getting ever so slightly wider. The device itself getting slightly shorter and slightly wider all around. We also have a leak from Ice Universe showing a case design, Fold 3 versus Fold 4, and I think with these side-by-sides it's kind of easier to see how much the cover display has widened out, and I think it's actually a little bit more significant than I think I maybe thought it was initially. It's always hard to say until you get it in your hands. I, for one, looking at the Folds before, thought, yeah, the screen looks pretty skinny and pretty narrow. However, when you get the thing in your hands, it really is quite shocking how skinny and narrow and tall it actually is. I think that this is going to be a good improvement, a good step into the right direction. But as far as the newest stuff that we have here today, this is it. Z Fold 4 on Geekbench. And here is the Geekbench score, which is impressive. It's a very good score. It's a very high score. But the most important part here is that if we look at our clusters, we look at the CPU information in general, we can kind of surmise from that in fact it will be running not just the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, but in fact the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, which is the slightly faster version of this processor. So of course, shocking to really probably should be known, it will be launching with the fastest processor any Android phone is capable of launching with. And this is good news. It's going to be a very fast phone. Additional efficiency improvements as well as these things go on. So best of the best here with this device. Another piece of information though comes from Samsung OneUI updates. They tweeted out this image here, which seems innocuous at first, right? It's just simply a screenshot of an update for One Hand Operation Plus, which is a good lock module, I believe. But if you look ever so closely at the what's new here, support for OneUI 4.1.1 Android 12L. OneUI 4.1.1 is Android 12L. That is important because it is all but confirmed at this point that the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4 will be launching with OneUI 4.1.1. If somehow to this point you don't know what Android 12L is, basically it's a variant of Android that is optimized for large screens. You can see here in this particular image, you see the notification shade is dual pane, side by side. This is going to be a big improvement for a device like a Z Fold, a large screen, which is currently set up in such a way that the notification shade has all this empty space on either side. This is something that people have criticized this device for, and that should be addressed with 12L. Now, there's a lot of other stuff here, right? So this may look familiar to you if you are a Samsung user. This is a taskbar where you can drag an app up and split screen applications. You may be saying to yourself, well, Shane, that is something we can already do on our Samsung devices. In fact, I can demo it here. Let's open up Twitter. Let's pull out our little sidebar here and let's just do Reddit. We'll bring it over and we will split screen it just like that. Voila, easy as can be. Well, that is something you can already do on a Samsung device, but now it's actually being built into Android. Will Samsung continue using their version of it? Will Android 12L simply take what Google has now built into the OS and they will customize it so that it will look the same? You won't notice anything's changed, but in some way it's running differently. Perhaps running better because it's being done at an OS level. I don't know. I'm not a developer. I don't know how that's going to play out, but it's now built into the operating system. Google is basically taking stuff that Samsung doesn't have in their OS, things that would be better for a tablet, adding them in, and then taking stuff that other people have maybe come up with their own solutions for, like this taskbar, and building it into Android for everyone to be able to use. But even maybe more importantly than those things is are the APIs. Basically what that means is there are a set of APIs, a set of Maybe you would call them bridges that allow two pieces of software to talk to one another in a fluent way. And basically what we're getting at here is you can have an application and it needs to talk to your operating system. And this API allows them to speak to each other in a more fluent way. What that allows to occur is for that application to best take advantage of the hardware that it is on. So perhaps you're talking about a device like a Z Fold, which can be a normal phone or it can be a tablet. So perhaps these applications will be able to intelligently know, oh, I've gone into a tablet interface, and now they can adopt a split screen type interface. In fact, Google has been updating a ton of their own apps to do this already. As you can see here on their tweet here from the official Google account, you can see their Google Messages is now in a better state to take advantage of a large screen. Google Maps, same thing. They're going through and they're updating their apps to work better on tablets, and the APIs that come with Android 12L will make these sorts of apps behave better, make this type of thing far more common as well. And I think that it's important because conceivably Z Fold 4 will be the first device to debut with Android 12L. And then if you are someone like myself who is a daily user of a Surface Duo or Surface Duo 2, this is big news to you, because what you can then say is that August is when 12L is going to be out there for people to use. Does that mean that they're going to be first? Is anyone going to beat them to the punch on that? I'm kind of skeptical on that point. Does that mean Duo will be in that area? Will they beat them to it? Maybe, probably not. Will they be shortly after? Hard to say, but it kind of gives you a broad area there to sort of speculate around in terms of when will 12L arrive, and then potentially once we get these announcements of Z Fold, we might be able to really see what 12L is going to look like in action. What sort of changes, what sort of effective differences is it actually going to make? Because so far we've just speculated and speculated ad nauseum. We've not really been able to truly see it in action. There's like one Lenovo tablet that had it in a beta that you could kind of see a bit. I've installed it on a Pixel 5 and rotated it and changed the DPI to get the taskbar, but it's not really what we're getting at. We need to see it on a device like this, and August is probably when that's going to happen first. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much all the new information we have about the Z Fold 4. Pretty much every bit of information I've covered at some point on this channel, but again, there's a little bit more. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.